we got connected, and that's a pretty interesting story. 5 minutes I'm going to take and help you understand why he is what he is today. So the story is not about me. The story is about Dr. Pillay himself and a little bit of element of Prathamesh Veling be in the picture. So I'll tell you what happened. So 3 years back when Magic Institute of Excellence started, I was in that swag, you know, that a middle class person coming down after 10 years of experience, quit the job, getting into an entrepreneurial journey was not very easy. And, you know, so I was into that, kind of a persona that I have done something fantastic, which was good. But let me accept in front of you that there was a little tint of arrogance which came into my overall body language, my communication and everywhere. And I realized that, and I don't mind admitting in front of you. और खतर की बात ये थी कि वो arrogance का जो period था, तभी मैं डॉक्टर पिल्ले से मिलने गया through one of my friend, and because the friend was working closely with Pillay sir, he couldn't say no, and he actually got me in. And then what happened was he took my interview. You know, describe yourself in 1 line, describe yourself in 3 words, and I think I did a fair job. But उसके बाद भी मुझे वो assignment नहीं मिली. So I wanted to teach actually in his institution, which is Chanakya Institute of Leadership Management, which is the most important institution for leadership. And he is director over there, and the course is MA in Leadership Science. So you can get in touch with him later on if something like this interests you. 2 साल में रुका था कि सर मुझे रिप्लाई करेंगे, कुछ तो होगा. मैं उनको फोन कर रहा था, but used to busy, used to flying across the world at that time. And then एक टाइम आ गया जब मैंने होप्स छोड़ दिए. तो मैं आपसे ये बताना चाहता हूँ कि इनडायरेक्टली उन्होंने मुझे 4 लीडरशिप लेसन्स ऐसे सिखाए हैं, which I was amazed, and I feel that nobody could have ever taught me such kind of a demonstrative effect. ये 2 साल रुकने के बाद I went ahead and attended one of his conference in one of the colleges, right? So I just went to meet Dr. Pillay because he was not accessible to me. पहले moment में उन्होंने मुझे देखा, he buddy hugged me and he said, Prathamesh, kaisa hai? And let me tell you guys that I was completely stunned by that. The person, like a living legend, is recognizing me after 2 years with my name. That means there was something different in this relationship. And he told me that kaisa hai. Let me tell you guys what the first thing I learned about from him was at that moment was compassionate leadership. Lesson number 2, which I learned. Now, this is very interesting for you guys, especially people who are still at a student age. There is something which you don't do and you don't take notes. When I had a meeting after those 3 years, when से मिला, फिर उन्होंने मुझे अपने office में बुलाया for a 1-hour counseling and a mentoring session with him. That session got extended to 3 hours, and I was speaking. He was speaking, I was speaking. There was a lot of discussion, and I was taking a lot of notes. But you know what, guys? You won't believe that in this discussion, even he was jotting down pointers. Can you believe this? What does that mean? Leadership lesson number 2, demonstrative leadership. Karke batao, sirf bolo mat, right? This amazing thing which I learned from him as part of the second leadership lessons which I have got. And then the third, which was the most important part, is be yourself. That's what he has taught me. So without wasting much of the time, and without taking much of your time, we have already, there's 10 minutes delay, so no problem, that's fine. I want to invite you, I want to introduce you today to living legend, one of the finest leaders which we have today, who is not only, who believes when he says this, I am a student of leadership and I'm a teacher of leadership as well. You require a lot of humility to say this, and not only to say this, but to live this particular thing, right? So I am so fortunate, I'm sure that I have done some kind of I have much of fortune so that I got in touch with him. And sir, thank you for accepting me as a mentee and coaching me and guiding me for not only for business, for life. And you have given me many things directly and indirectly in terms of leadership lessons, and I will always remain grateful to you. So please help me welcome, guys, with a digital clap. Every single person, please hit the digital clap right away and help me welcome none other than leadership guru, living legend, my mentor and coach, Mr. Radhakrishnan Pillay.
Thank you so much, Prathamesh. Thank you so much. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you so much. So first of all, thank you for appreciating me so much, and you are a very, very good mentee. I don't know whether I'm a good mentor, but let me continue the story because you started with the story where you were not able to come to university and teach. But let us end this story with a happy ending. Actually, afterwards, I called him and said, "Why don't you take 2 lectures on leadership at Mumbai University?" So that's
Yes,
also
yes.
important because he actually teaches at the Mumbai University. So for all the participants, remember one thing, if something is delayed, don't think that it is your fault. Okay. And don't lose confidence in life. So, the best is yet to come. And this is not an arrogant statement. It was not about Prathamesh not being able to teach leadership at Mumbai University, but he kept his passion going on. He was in touch with me. He came and met me. But there's a saying, "Apna time aayega." And jab time aata hai, it just comes. And remember one thing, Bhagwan deta hai to chhappar phad ke deta hai. This is a reality in life. So if you are having some setbacks in the initial stage of your career, don't worry about it. God knows in the long run, you will get better than the best. Yes, you will not get the best, you will get even better than the best. You should have a lot of patience, and that's leadership. So, friends, I would like to start with a story of a very well known leader of our country. Some of you must have already read his books, and people like me have been fortunate to actually share the dais with him. President Dr. Apj Abdul Kalam. Okay, friends, remember this great name, President Dr. Apj Abdul Kalam was also rejected, okay, in the early stages of his career. Do you know that he had a desire to join the Indian Air Force? Yes, my dear friends, he had a desire to actually join the Indian Air Force. He gave the exams, but unfortunately, he had to come back without actually getting into the Indian Air Force. He was very upset, he was very sad, and he didn't know what to do. And a lot of people lose their self-confidence. So did young Kalam lose his self-confidence. But you know what? It didn't stop there. He had gone to Rishikesh during that particular time, and he met one great saint. His name was Swami Shivananda of the Divine Life Society. Young boy, totally feeling failure in life, went to him and prayed to him and said, Swamiji, what is this? I had a big dream and a vision to actually, get into the Indian Air Force. But unfortunately, I have not even passed. What do I do? Swamiji said to him, don't worry. You will become better than what you actually planned. And later on, think about this. He became the president of India, and the Indian Air Force was actually under his command. Remember, the president of a country is the supreme commander of the three armed forces. So, do you want to be a pilot or you want to head the whole Indian Air Force? So, this is the story you should always remember, that you will always get better than what you want. You will not get what you want, you get better than what you want. And let me tell you, this is everybody's story. It is my story also. It's Abdul Kalam sir's story also. It is also Prathamesh's story. Okay, I wanted to get into the Indian Navy. I wanted to get into the Indian Navy, but unfortunately, I lost it by 2 marks. Can you believe it? It's so frustrating. And by the way, I was prepared to get in the Indian Navy for almost 4 years. I was a part of NCC and SCC, National Cadet Corps and Sea Cadet Corps. And you'd be surprised, I had already marched on the Rajpath. I had already become a leader in the NCC, but 2 marks. And I said, oh my goodness. So unfortunate, career kahan pe shuru hone se pehle hi khatam ho gaya. But you'll be surprised to know later on, because of Chanakya and the Arthashastra and the knowledge that I have today, I teach the Indian Navy. Can you think about it? Some of the best officers of the Indian Navy are my students. So friends, it is my story, Abdul Kalam's story, Prathamesh's story, and everybody's story. Remember, never, ever, ever get upset about what happens temporary in your life. So friends, I've been, fortunate to share this wonderful dice and the whole program that we've been organized by Prathamesh and his whole team. Thank you, Prathamesh, once again. You are a wonderful student, a wonderful organizer. And of course, you can see the number of people who follow you also. So friends, for the next 20 minutes, okay, I'm going to actually speak on something very interesting. That is a topic that has been given to us: managing career changes, the Chanakya way. Okay. So friends, I'm going to speak about it. But you know what? After that, we are going to spend a lot of time in Q&A, because so many questions coming in. There are so many doubts. And remember, never in your life stop asking questions. Okay? So never in your life stop asking questions. You know why? Because until and unless you don't ask questions, you will never get the right answers. But remember the Chanakya Niti. Ask the right questions to the right person. That is also very important. We ask the right question, but to the wrong person. Okay. So if you're asking a history teacher a question of geography and he doesn't answer, you say, Kaisa history teacher hai? So you should know the right question to be asked to the right person at the right time. And let me tell you, you will get all the answers in your life. Even Arjuna, one of the greatest warriors in Mahabharata, actually had lost confidence in himself. And then there was a Q&A, question and answer discussion between him and Krishna, and he found all the answers. And he got up and fought a battle and became one of the most successful warriors of all times. Okay, friends? So now let me start with our topic, managing career changes. So friends, let us first define what a career means. You know, because usually when students are studying in the schools, they only have dreams and aspirations. I want to become this, I want to become that. But remember, like, you know, when we were small, all of us must have written this composition in our schools. It's called, what do you want to do when you become up big, you know? So some says, you know, what if you become the prime minister of the country? What if you do when you become the president of the country? What do you do? So some people say, I want to become a pilot, I want to become an engineer, a doctor, whatever. But remember one thing, that is not a career. Okay, that is just a dream and a wish, and maybe it's a goal. But career is much bigger. So let us understand what is a career. A career is a part of your life. A career is also a stage of your life in which generally you are a professional. Okay, so you get qualified, you start studying, you start earning money out of it, and one day you will retire. Okay, so if career has got a start, a career also has an end. Okay, so remember one thing, a career has got a start and a career also has an end. That's why Chanakya said this very clearly. Even if you are a leader, okay, there is a time when the leader should exit. Like for example, if you look at cricket, you know, some people may take up sports as a career. So there are different careers in sports. So suppose you're a player, okay, so you have to enter into the career, and the younger and fitter you are, you're better. But you know what, as you grow older and older, a time comes when you realize that the young generation is going to take over. So in sports and in games like cricket, you have to end your career very early. For example, Sachin Tendulkar, you know, one of the greatest batsmen we have seen. But one day he also has to retire, but retire very successfully. Look at Mahendra Singh Dhoni. He was one of the greatest cricketers that we have. He's still not formally retired, but you can see him still around. But Virat Kohli is performing now. So remember one thing, career starts and career ends. Okay. So before we start about career, you should know the other thing also. And that is called not only being successful in your career, you actually have to be successful in life. Yes, my dear friend, you have to be successful in life. Because let's say you start your career at 25 years. Okay. And one day you'll have to retire at 60 years. But today people are living very healthy for 80, 85, 90, and you never know. By the time you become big, you may be having a life expectancy of 100 years also. Okay, and we see a lot of people, even in COVID situation, people who are 100 years old have recovered. Isn't it true? So what is important? Career is a part of your life, but life is bigger than your career. Okay. So 25, 30, 40 years, you'll be very strong in your career. But before the career also you are there, and after the career also you are there. Okay. So the first principle to be successful in career is to be a good human being. Okay. Remember one thing, you have to be a good human being. So when you're in your students' days, be a man of or a woman of character. Develop the character in you. And only then you will be able to see how you progress in your career. Because in career, there always comes a time when your character is tested. Remember, your character is tested in your career. A lot of people think career is about making money. Of course, it's about making money, but time to time you'll be tested. Okay, so it is only the character, the values and the ethics that you have in which you will be standing a strong career. I've seen so many people in the initial days, they were very good students. They got a good job, they went on to become entrepreneurs and all, but afterwards gone. Why? because they started doing a lot of gapla. They started doing a lot of corruption. They became greedy. They became so bad that the career ended in a jail. Okay, please understand. So everybody wants to be successful, but I want to be successful and respected in your career. Two different words. One is successful in your career and respected in your career. If you're not respected, then your career may be good, but nobody will value you. Okay. So I will tell you one small story, which is a real story. Okay. So there was a government employee. Okay. He worked very hard, gave his civil services exam and got into it. And slowly he became, okay, because they have the power and he started taking bribes and all those things. And slowly it became a habit. Remember, he's already got a career, but that career became a wrong habit. And somebody asked him, why do you do this? You're already having a nice job, a decent salary, you have respect and all those things. And he said, listen, all this I'm doing for my children. I'm not earning for myself. I'm not selfish. I'm doing it for my family and for my children. If my child wants to become a doctor or an engineer, I should give that money, So that's why I'm building up my children's future. Remember one thing, that is an excuse for being corrupt. And when the children became big, a lot of people started saying that, your father is a very corrupted government employee. Your father is a very corrupted government employee. And when it reached to him, then his son and his children told him, Papa, everybody is telling that, that you are very corrupted, you are corrupted. Is it true? Is it true? The father suddenly got angry. I said, I'm earning for all of you. And you know what the children and the family told him? Who told you? Who told you to earn the wrong money for us? We don't want that money. If I want to become a doctor, I will earn my own money. If I want to become an engineer, please don't do this, because all the children around us, all our friend circle are actually laughing at us. Friends, understand this. You have to gain respect in your career, not just success in your career. Okay, this is the first step. Now we come to something that how do you manage career changes? And what does Chanakya say? First principles first. You will always go through different career changes in your one whole lifespan of a career of 25-30 years. So, sorry for that. Okay. So let us say you have a career of 35-40 years. You started 25 years, 35, 45, 50. So let's say 30-35 years of career. Research has proven that whoever be it, he or she will minimum go through 3 career changes. I have gone through 3 career changes before finding my career in Chanakya. So that means, what is the meaning of 3 career changes? You will go through 3 different job profiles or 3 different companies sometimes before you settle down in one career. Okay, so for example, when I started my career, I always was into sales. Okay, I worked in a music company and I changed. Then, I went into the cricket industry. Then I went into the jewelry industry. And finally, I settled down with Chanakya. For the last 20 years, I have not changed my career. Everything is focused on Chanakya. Writing, reading, teaching, speaking, everything on Chanakya. So I decided my career. But it did not happen day one. So it's like you have to find your own career. It takes time. So in the initial stages, 4, 5, 7 years, if you are not sure about your career, don't worry. Okay, don't worry. You will go through changes. I know so many people who say, I have got one job and I retired with that company. Now let me tell you, even in that one company, you will change your jobs 2-3 times within the company, or your boss will give you different projects. Isn't it true? So, if you look at, I know of a person who is working for TCS. That was the first job, okay? And he will retire with TCS also. So he's so committed to TCS. And he said, I have never changed my career. And I said, listen one thing. What did you do when you start your career in TCS? So I was a programmer. Okay, what are you now? So no, I'm like, I'm a very important business head. Now, remember, you have gone through changes. So a software programmer became a manager of a project. Then you became a team leader. Then you became a vice president. And then he said, wait, you know what? I didn't tell you. I also became CEO of one division of TCS as a business head. And I said, see, you say that you never change your career. Reality is that in one company itself, you have changed your jobs and your roles. So remember, if you're going to be changing, don't worry. So Chanakya says that if change is happening, it is good. Okay, please understand, if change is happening in your career, it is good. What people don't know is how to manage the change. Yes, my dear friends, what people don't know how to manage the change. And I can tell you this, you may join a company with a salary, okay? Do you want the salary to be the same? Okay, so you got, maybe 10,000 rupees. So you want to retire with 10,000 rupees? No. Everybody wants from 10,000 rupees to 20,000 rupees and maybe aspiration of 50,000 rupees, or you want to go abroad. So you may have started with some career, some job, some company, some project, but guaranteed it will change. And that is what Chanakya says. Either you be ready for change or change will change you. Okay. And let me tell you, friends, it's very boring to do monotonous job. Okay. You go to office morning, 9:30 you report, 6 o'clock you leave, come back. And again you go, do that, come back, come back. Isn't it so boring? It's like only eating dal, roti, chawal every day, every day, every day. And you're wearing the same dress every day, every day, every day. It is so boring. You also want a change, isn't it? So number one, Chanakya says this, be ready for change and rather following change, be the change. Okay, so be very, very clear. The change is going to happen and research has proven it. People go through minimum. I'm not saying maximum. Huh? People have gone through minimum 3 career changes before they actually settle down. And especially if some of your parents are in government department, they know it's a transferable job. I've written a book called Chanakya 7 Secrets of Leadership with D. Sivanandan, who was a Director General of Maharashtra Police. He said, in my 35 years or 37 years of a career, okay, in police department, I got transferred 27 times. Now, isn't that change in one career? Yes. So be ready for change. And let me tell you, people who are ready for change actually are very innovative. They're very, very inspirational. Har din wahi kiya, to it's a boring job, but you can be creative, innovative, lot of things you can do. Okay, so that is the first thing. The second important thing, when you're changing the career or when you're changing from one place to another, what should you do? Okay, now let's say I only morning in the itself I got a message saying that, sir, I have got a new job in a different field. For example, I'm qualified in IT. Isn't it true? So I've been working in this company. They pay me 50,000 rupees. I've been here for 3 years. Now I got an opportunity from somebody else, and it is not an IT company. It is into manufacturing. Okay. So what should I do? Because I'm going to change my career. I don't even know about that particular field. So there is one more student of mine. He is a very qualified MBA with finance. Okay. And he's doing very well. He's worked in some big companies, multinational companies. And then suddenly what happened? He got a job in a totally different field. So he was taken into an organization where he was supposed to head R&D. How does he do? What do you do? So you are going to actually head a totally new thing. And there is a fear, whether I'm already doing this, I'm qualified in this, I'm going to do that. What if that doesn't work? I can't come back also. So here is a formula how to manage career changes. So suppose you're already steady in a job. Okay. And you are got a different offer, but you're not sure. So what do? You know what Chanakya says? Ask the experts. Okay, very, very important. Don't take a decision alone. Talk to somebody. For example, you're an engineer, okay, and you're working in a factory. And somebody tells you to join the film industry. Oh, film industry. But that is glamour. That may not be a career. Okay, so how much are you getting? 50,000 rupees. So one film director comes and tells you, okay, join me. I'm going to give you 1 lakh rupee. 1 lakh rupee. How do you know? It's good or bad? Because you're going to change your career completely. So what do? Don't worry. Anywhere there can be a possibility. Okay, so what do? Ask an expert. So what you should do, never say no to anybody. If you have an offer of job, wait. But go to the film industry and ask the experts in the film industry. And if you find somebody and say, oh, Guruji of the film industry, say, I'm a normal student. I'm just passed out 3 years. I worked in IT industry. I'm getting 50,000. But this producer, he tells me that, you join me. I require a technical person like you. Come, let us be part of it. I'm going to pay you 1 lakh rupee. What should I do? The person, your industry guru will tell you, listen, that particular person, he is a cheat. He's taken money from me and never given back. So you will come and work on his software project, you will create music, and tomorrow he will tell me no. Maybe the first month he'll give you 1 lakh rupee. The second month he'll give you 1 lakh rupee. Afterwards, you know, paisa nahi hai. What to do? Then you know, it is called verification from the expert sources. And Chanakya calls this Vriddha Sanyogaha. Check with the Vriddhas, the experts of that industry. But if the same person tells, okay, the same person tells, this person, he's making a movie and he's wanting you to come, very nice person, okay? He is a very established person, he's got a lot of money, join him. You know, the next project he has got, he's actually going to make Avengers ka series. He's got a web series thing, a lot of money has come in. So go. So then you can be confident. I'm changing career from one place to another. I know this place, but I don't know this place. What do? Ask the expert of this space. I have changed many careers, as I told you, but always I check the expert. Third thing, changing your career from being an employee to an employer. That is the biggest career change that will ever happen with you. Okay. Joining one company to another company. Okay. Leaving one industry and joining other industry. These are changes in career. But you know what is the biggest career change that will happen to you? The shift from being an employee to become an employer. And let me tell you, it is not different. It is opposite. Can I repeat that? It is not going to be different. It's going to be, you know what is the meaning of different? Samosa hai, aloo samosa. Now I'm having Punjabi samosa. But you're still samosa only. But you know what? Now you're eating samosa and tomorrow you have to create a dosa. Please understand the difference. You know, eating samosa and changing samosa is different. From aloo to maybe Punjabi samosa. But you are saying from samosa to creating a dosa. You have to start everything from scratch. You know everything about samosa, but here like you have to go and you know what is dosa, I don't even know. Go, create the whole dosa, uska pura ye karo, usko kaise banana 2-3 times. So my dear friends, if you want to become an entrepreneur, nothing wrong. In fact, I'm proud if somebody wants to become an entrepreneur and make a career out of it. But it is not like becoming a job. From some person who's thinking about getting a job, your mindset becomes about creating jobs. So therefore, entrepreneurship is not about getting jobs, it's about creating jobs. I'll tell you something very frankly, 20 years ago, I became an entrepreneur from an employer. So from an employee, I used to get big fat salary in multinational companies, you know. But suddenly, unfortunately, the founder of the company died in a car accident. I had a lot of fat salary during those years. 20 years ago, I used to get around 45,000 rupees at a very basic level, you know. It became very big. It's equivalent to, you know, getting 5 lakh rupees nowadays. But unfortunately, I had to come. I went to my guru. I had already changed 3 careers. Remember that 3 jobs. And I told him, oh, Guruji, now I'm looking out for a job. Ashirwad do. And he told me, now you don't look out for a job. You think about creating jobs. And I started thinking, oh my goodness, I only know how to work under somebody and get a salary every month, you know. 1st of August. Yesterday was 1st of August. All the employees who are still having jobs will get a salary on that day. Isn't it true? But I said, what to do? You know what? I did not know all those things, but my guru told me, don't worry, I will mentor you. Oh, remember I told you, Vriddha Sanyoga, you change from a job seeker to a job creator. But I don't know the process. I'm not from a business community. My father doesn't know business. My uncle doesn't know business. What do I do? Don't worry. Have faith. So the first thing every entrepreneur should do is having faith in himself, but also faith in somebody who will guide you. That is why it's very important if you want to be a businessman or a businesswoman, you should have a business mentor. Because you're going for the journey for the first time. Change in career. No, it's not change. It's transformation. It's a U-turn. What do? You have to take the mentorship of somebody who's already successful. Okay. So remember, what is the change in being an employee and an employer? I'll tell you one small mindset. An employee thinks about every month I will get a salary. And an employer thinks every month to give salaries. Isn't it? So एक तो मुझे पगार मिलेगा, but an employer thinks मुझे पगार देना है. And I tell you, it is not going to be easy. You know, ever since I started my company called Chanakya Anvikshiki Private Limited, I have got many companies. I'm a serial entrepreneur. Okay, and by the grace of God, all my projects have been successful. All my books have been bestsellers. You know what? The Chanakya formula that I apply is very clear. Whenever you change, okay, take your own time. Okay, in the last 4 years, we started a company on training and mentorship, but not a single month for the last 4 years. Okay, I've taken a salary myself. Yes, 4 years. Okay, and all these 4 years multiplied by 12 months, you think about it. I've made sure that my employees had paid salary every month on the first. So you see, मैंने खुद salary नहीं लिया, but making sure that सबको salary देना है. Are you ready for this change? Yes. How do you do that? Have some business mentors. Therefore, a Raja also needs a Rajguru. Chanakya was a Rajguru. Remember that. So if you want to be a Raja, if you want to be a leader, you want to be an entrepreneur, you also need to have a Rajguru and mentor. And we have Prathamesh sir and all those people who are now mentoring the next generations. So always, when young boys and girls ask me, I have got a business idea. I want to become an entrepreneur. I'm like, kya hai idea? Remember one thing, no idea is good or bad till you make it financially successful. In your parents will also tell you, beta jo karna hai kar le, lekin 3 saal mein nahi hua to tumko kuch aur dekhna padega. Isn't it? They'll help you and support you for some time. Lucky if your parents support you for 3 years. Otherwise, parents don't even support you for more than 1 year. Okay. So for the parents, I suggest, Ashirwad do. So when the young boys and girls come to me and say, I've got this business idea and that business idea, I said, that's okay. Business idea is good. But who is your business mentor? Huh? Business mentor? I said the first requirement of business is not just a business idea, but a person who will mentor you to make that idea into a profitable business. Okay, friends, Chanakya created leaders. So one more point I would like to tell you, that entrepreneurship is equal to leadership. Okay, entrepreneurship and leadership. So I'm saying I'm starting a business. Yes. But you're starting your own business. When you're an employee, you actually have to take permission from your boss. Isn't it true? Today, Saturday, Sunday, holiday, no problem. Monday, I don't want to go to office. But you have to take a permission. Otherwise, salary cut jayega, late mark lag jayega. You will be marked as, not meant for, leave. So they are CLPL. That is how an employee thinks. But when you become an entrepreneur, please understand it. There is no holiday. Okay, you will give holidays to others, but the career is very different for you. You have to work 24/7. Yes, my dear friends, for an entrepreneur, there is no Saturday, Sunday. Okay, your job is 24/7 for 365 days forever. I don't want to become an entrepreneur. I don't want to become an entrepreneur. Remember, entrepreneur is coming out of your comfort zone. Okay, what is the meaning of comfort zone? अच्छा है, बैठे, job is coming, salary is coming, लाखों में कमा रहे, क्यों risk लेने का? But remember, leaders and entrepreneurs have to take risk. If you don't know how to take risk, how will you know whether you are successful? So now I'll tell you the last Chanakya formula of managing career changes. Okay, what is that? That is, don't take risk in business. What did you say? You're contradicting yourself. First you told take a risk because entrepreneurship, leadership is about taking risk. And now you're telling don't take risk. Yes. Don't take risk. Take calculated risk. What is the meaning of calculated risk? I'll explain to you. Okay. So if you're shifting, you should know a calculation. Don't just put all your money into one business and you're gone. A lot of people, they take money from their parents, from their friends, from the bank, and it doesn't work out. What is the meaning of calculated risk? Risk to lena hi padta hai. No doubt about it. And a businessman will think about ROI, return on investments. Isn't it true? So if I'm putting 100 rupees, I should get, 200 rupees. That is return on investment. But if I put 100 rupees, there is a chance that I will not be able to get 100 rupees back. It may be zero also. So there's a risk. What you should do? Take calculated risk. What is the meaning of calculated risk? So let me put a scenario. Let's say you are getting 50,000 rupees a month as salary, just for calculation's sake. And fortunately, you're still not married. Okay, let's consider, because once you get married, then there are a lot of other additional expenses that come in. You'll have a family, you'll have a house to pay rents for. So what is happening? Let's say in an ideal condition, you're getting 50,000 rupees and your expense only 20, 35 or 30,000 rupees. So saving 20,000 rupees. Okay, so expenses are 30,000. Maybe you'll have to give it to your parents, your travel, this, that, whatever. So Suppose you become an entrepreneur. Okay. Remember one thing, you not get a salary. Okay. Then you do a calculation. Okay. You are taking a risk. You are going to leave a job and you're going to start your own company. You have to take 1 year kind of a calculation. So let's say in the month of December, just for calculation's sake, I want to resign. And from the month of January, okay, that is the next year, I want to run my business. So what you should do, first of all, don't jump and say, now I'm becoming an entrepreneur. No. Start thinking about an entrepreneur before 6 months, before you actually become an entrepreneur. So what you should do is that, okay, start looking at your savings. Okay. So you already have 50,000 rupees and 30,000 rupees is expenses. Let's say 20,000 rupees is saved. Now, if you have saved very nicely, okay, very calculation, you've done your investment, you may have 2-3 lakh rupees. Okay. Then you should do a simple mathematical calculation. And Chanakya says this, Artha eva pradhanaha iti kautilyaha. Artha. All risk should be done with calculations. So let's say for the next 1 year, okay, next 1 year, I'm not going to get anything. Okay. Are you okay with that? Then you have to use your savings. So you say 30,000 rupees into 12, 3.6 lakhs or whatever, let's say, around 3 lakhs. So you need, we'll still, there's an expense 3 into 12. So let's say mota 3 lakh rupees. Do you have that much? Okay. You should have that much. If not for the whole year, at least you should have, 30,000 rupees for the next 6 months. The 1.8 lakhs. So if you have 2 lakh rupees, you said, okay, now I can take a risk. Because there's no incoming, there is only outgoing. But let's say after 1 year, you go and you see that money is not coming in. What do? A lot of people fall in love with the business so much that they keep putting more and more. Their savings is gone. You know what they do? They take the parents' savings. They take their mother's jewelry. And the mother and the sister will say, "Theek hai beta." It is called burning cash. They go to such an extent that finally घर बिक जाता है. So खुद का तो saving गया, दूसरे का saving गया. I know of a person, he became an entrepreneur and they had to sell their flat from a big house that his father had owned. Father का property गया, खुद का property गया, and they had to leave the city only for basic survival. So did he make a mistake? No, he did not make a mistake because he shifted from a job to become an entrepreneur. His career track was totally different. Do you know what he did do? He made the mistake of doing the wrong calculation. And the second mistake, he didn't realize that what is the time to exit. Remember one thing, a good businessman knows when to exit. So remember, for 6 months or a year, even if you don't get money, that's fine. But after 6 months also you're not getting money, there is something wrong. So you may have to rethink about your business. And let me tell you, my dear friends, it is fine. It is very much fine if you don't become a successful businessman in the first level. Go back, work somewhere. But if you want to be an entrepreneur, maybe after 5 years, you come back again and try a different business. Okay, so it is very, very important. Don't just take a risk emotionally or impulsively. Take a risk with calculation. Do calculated risk. So, every project that I do, in my mind, I do a calculations. Acha, 6 months. Okay. 1 year, what is the best case situation? What is the worst case situation? Best case situation is that in 1 year, my business will grow and maybe I'll start getting some salary. Okay. After 2 years, after 3 years, and business is also an investment of your own time, efforts and energy, isn't it? Not only money, you're putting all your life efforts into that one business. But let me give you one formula. A very great industrialist told me this. In the short term, our expectations are very high. We expect a lot in short term, but we miscalculate in the long term. Because in the long term, you get more. So many people think, 1 साल के अंदर मेरा 1 करोड़ का business हो जाएगा. Okay? ऐसा नहीं होता है. Because you have to be calculated. It takes time. Okay? So in the short term, we expect a lot. But in the long term, we say, hey. But I also seen that if you stick to a business for 3 years, 4 years, 5 years,
it's 6 o'clock.
After 6 years, after almost like many years, you will not get a few thousands or lakhs. You may get a few crores. Okay, so in the long term, never underestimate yourself. But we overestimate in the short term and we underestimate in the long term. So therefore, if you want to be a businessman, an entrepreneur, play the long-term game. I've been successful now after 20 years. And now after 20 years, nobody can shake me. 20 books after 20 years. 2020, this is the year, and I'm getting so many opportunities, investment, this, that. But the last thing I would like to tell you, a businessman was asked, you became successful overnight. I said, yeah, I became successful overnight. Oh, tell me the first secret. He said, listen, you think I became successful overnight? But remember, the night was too long. We only see the success, but we don't see the struggles. I'm not frightening you with, becoming an entrepreneur. But I'm saying that entrepreneurship is a long-term commitment. And Chanakya says, entrepreneurship is also a leadership quality. And finally, make sure when you become an entrepreneur, make money. If you're not made money, then it's only a time pass. Okay? So you may have worked on a project, but you have to be financially successful. So let me just stop with one interesting story of Chanakya. Ready for that? One day, one student came to Chanakya and he said, oh, Guruji, Acharya ji, boliye ji, aapko kya sunna hai ji? So maybe, I want to start a factory like Pillai ji. Pillai ji, no, maybe nobody knows. It has survived for 80 years. How many years? 80 years. No, people don't know. Pillai ji is a big brand, but it has survived generations. So the student comes like, suniye ji. And Chanakya says, kahiye ji, beta ji, shishya ji, kahiye. I have an idea. So very good. What is the idea? I want to become a leader. Not a bad idea. I want to become an entrepreneur in our language. Okay. So what should I do? Guruji, am I a born leader? Please tell me that. Guruji started smiling. Chanakya said, we have this question, are leaders born or are they made? He said, even if you are a born leader, you still require training in leadership. And once you become trained in leadership, you should actually become a leader. What is the meaning of that? 3 steps. So he says, you are already a leader. That's why you're my shishya. So don't worry whether you're a born leader or not. Everybody has got leadership qualities, okay? Everybody is a born leader in one field or other. But the second one, even if you're a born leader, don't think that you'll become a Raja overnight. You require a Raja Guru, a mentor. So don't worry, I'll train you. That's what Chanakya said. But after training also, you should actually take up some role. Start a business, start some activity, or even if you're working, even if you're an employee, you should show leadership qualities there. Don't think like an employee, mere ko kitna mila. Think maine kitna diya. So Chanakya said, don't worry, you are a born leader, but now you start getting training under me. I will mentor you to actually become a successful leader. And then once you're a successful leader, remember the formula. A leader is the one who creates more leaders. So today you want a mentor, but at the end of your career, you should become a mentor to others. Okay? This is the important thing, that when your career ends, maybe after 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, whatever, you should be the leadership guru for others. This is how you change. How do you manage your change in your career? It will change, but you should emerge as a leader. All the best. Thank you, Prathamesh.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot for the great insights. And I was taking notes, and a couple of things which I've noted down was overestimating short term and underestimating long term. That was an entrepreneur lesson for me. So guys, what I want you to understand is entrepreneurship, or what we are talking about, changing the career, is not only about whether you want to, it's not about you want to start the business or not. That's one part of the discussion. But the another part of the discussion is, do you have a mindset of an owner? So if I'm 100% sure that all the CEOs today, or the successful people today, even in the job category, have an entrepreneurial mindset, which is what is making them to succeed. And in next 3 minutes, I'm going to start with the Q&A. So what you have to do is, couple of questions I already have, so I'm going to start with them. And in the meanwhile, you can type your question in the chat window. Remember, make sure it's not about a field में marketing में क्या करूँ, finance में क्या करूँ, HR में क्या करूँ. These are not the questions. These are the questions for your teachers. You are facing a Rajguru today, and make sure that you get the answers for your life and not just your next step. All right. So thanks a lot, sir, for the great insights. And just to give you update, guys, sir, being very generous, didn't have a long introduction, but let me tell you, he has written 15 books, right? First book, he told me, he took about 4.5 years to write. And today he writes about 5,000 words per day, irrespective of the busy schedule. What excuse you have when you are sad just to make a feedback or just to type a LinkedIn comment or so on and so forth? A guy who is so busy taking sessions, आज भी उनके 3 sessions थे, शायद ये उनका तीसरा session या चौथा सेशन है. All right. So how many of you? So I want every single person to write TH in the thanks window, in the chat window, to thank Dr. Pillay before I start the Q&A. Quickly type thanks in the chat window quickly. Guys, you have to be fast. You have to be fast. Perfect. Sir, you can see people there. All right. So 3 Chanakya Nitis which we have learned today was be a good human being, first of all. That was brilliant. And it's not about just successful. It's a success plus respect. This was new for me as well. And so here I go. So are you ready? Can I ask you a question? Do you have the permission?
Yes,
all right.
sir.
So sir has, yes. So Pillai sir has given me the permission. And guys, please keep your notepad and pen ready. ये इसका recording मिलेगा, ये मिलेगा, वो होगा, ये सब नहीं होने वाला, right? So make sure you are attentive right now, because then you're not going to get access to Dr. Pillay very soon. Okay, so here you go. Sir, let me ask the first question. Okay, so we have Mr. Mandar from Pune, and he has his first question saying, how to identify the right career at early stage of life so that we don't have to repent of what we are doing or look for a better plan over the period of time. So hum kaise, should you want me to repeat it, then just...
No, I'm fine. I got the question.
So just a second. So guys, make sure, बहुत लोगों को ये question आया है, थोड़े in and around मुझे लोगों ने यही सवाल पूछा है कि पहले ही कैसे जान ले कि कौन सी सही दिशा है ताकि आगे जाके दुर्दशा ना हो जाए, right? So over to you, Dr. Pillay.
So first of all, what is the right career for you? You cannot decide yourself. Very, very important. I'll tell you the reason why. You know, I always believe it is the parents and the teachers who are to guide you to take that right decision in the early stages. So let me give an example of Sachin Tendulkar. Okay. Did Sachin Tendulkar know that he's born to be a cricketer? No. Who identified it? His brother. Remember that? His elder brother actually identified that talent. So always, you know, Sachin Tendulkar says it is my brother Ramesh who actually took me to the cricketing field. Then his father, okay, gave him blessings. Ja beta jo karna hai kal. His father was a professor in Kirti College. Okay, he never said, you know, beta padna likhna aur mere jaisa professor banna. That is also a problem with a lot of parents. You know, I am a doctor, my son should be a doctor. Why? Just because you have created a hospital? No. So the real career or what you are good at is actually identified in the house. So the brother of Sachin Tendulkar identified it. The father blessed it. Then they took them to a teacher, Ramakant Atsarekar. He trained him. And that is why Sachin Tendulkar became very successful. Now, if you are lucky, and very few people are lucky like that, the parents says, mera beta ya beti isme acha hai. They can choose a career. Sometimes your parents don't know, but sometimes your teachers know. Okay, so Chanakya actually saw that leadership quality in Chandragupta Maurya. He identified it. And then he became a great Raja. So how do you know what you're good at? Luckily, if you have a great teacher, he will tell you, a mentor will tell you, or your parents or your elders will tell you. So once they tell you, you can make it a career out of it. I'll give you one real example. There's a friend of mine, his name is Subhashish Modi, and we were together in school and college. So he was a brilliant artist. He used to sketch a lot, and of course he went to do his engineering and all those things. But you know what? He told me once that my teacher, when I was in third standard, my teacher called up my parents. And he told my parents that, you know, your son is a born artist. He's got some sketching skills which is unique. Please develop his drawing and technical skills in the field of sketching and designing. The parents took it very seriously. Imagine a third standard, you are hardly a child. But he became bigger and bigger. His parents supported him, put him into some extra class and all those things. And do you know what, my dear friends? He's one of India's most successful architects today. Because architecture is about designing, sketching, isn't it true? And you'd be surprised. 9 out of 10 malls, remember the words, and 9 out of 10 malls that are designed in India is actually designed by him. So he's not just a person who knows how to draw well, but he's the most successful person in that field. So he does specialization in mall design. So what do you know? First of all, earlier the better is because of parents and family. Now let's say condition 2, your parents have not identified, your teachers have not identified, what do you do? Then I say is that, you know, first 3 years of your career, experiment. Okay, so I found my calling, my career after 27 years. So So generally you're a graduate at, 21. So 4-5 years, maybe 24, 25, 26 years, you can experiment. And then while experimenting, keep an eye on yourself and what others talk about you. Okay, it's like going to an ice cream parlor. Okay, so you want to eat an ice cream, but you don't know what. Choosing the right ice cream is like choosing your career, isn't it? So what do? You don't know, because all the ice cream is new. So some people say become an engineer, some people say become a sportsman, some people say become an entrepreneur. How do you know? All this is a choice. So the ice cream parlor wala says, "Sab thoda thoda chak ke dekh lena." Isn't it true? So everybody tastes a little bit. So you take this flavor, that flavor. That is experimenting phase. But you like one particular flavor and you say, give me a full scoop of that, or a double scoop of that. Isn't it true? So in the initial stage of a career, if you make some mistakes and experiment, it's fine. But don't keep experimenting with your career lifelong. Then it's a danger. So as I told you, 3-4 careers, I also changed, but I settled down at 27. And then no go looking back. So number one, if you are lucky to have a teacher, a parent who tells you early, it's good. Otherwise you experiment, but don't keep experimenting forever, because it will be like, digging a well here, there, and finally nowhere. Choose, experiment, but finally once you understood what you're good at, make that your lifelong commitment. That is how you become successful in your career. Yeah, Prathamesh sir.
Thank you, sir. That was amazing. And we have another question which is in sync to what you said. But I want you to I want you to give a specific answer, probably if possible, because a lot of them have this question. So we have Nithya from Pondicherry who is saying, sir, I did my MBA from a good college. I have a loan of 8 lakhs as part of the fees. I have 2 job offers. One company is giving me a great profile, which is of my interest, but they are offering 3.5 lakhs. So a great company offering 3.5 lakhs. And another company who has a very substandard kind of a role is offering me 7 lakhs. Now my loan is impacting my decision to take up a high salary job. What should I do in this scenario?
So it's a choice and it's a financial decision. Okay, the good news is that you have 2 offers. A lot of people after the MBA also doesn't have an option. They don't have offers. Okay. So I would say that, it is a decision that you should discuss with your parents also. Now the question remains that if you have a loan, okay, loan from whom? Is it a bank loan or a loan taken from your father? A lot of people take a loan from the parents also. But I would say that, if your main priority is to finish off the loans, then please go ahead and take up that 7 lakh rupees wala. And then don't regret. Be very clear that after 1 or 2 years, I want to give up that. 2 advantages you will have if you go for that. Number one, your loan will be 0. Okay, so you'll get 7 lakhs if you work for, 2 years, you may get more of it, but you'll be loan free. Second thing is that you will have experience, because of 2 years or 1 year, whatever you decide. If you're loan free, your mind will be more free. Currently, your mind is continuously worried about the investment that you're made to an MBA. So what I'm saying is that nothing wrong. You're already MBA qualified with 2 years experience. After that, if you want to still change your career, why not? So I think it's a decision more financial rather than career. Ideally, if you can manage both, why not? So please discuss with your parents if you're taking a loan from them, or consult some seniors who understand the scenario of that industry. But being loan free is the greatest freedom that you will have mentally. In the Mahabharata, it is said, even if 1 rupee is not paid back, it's a tension. So pay back the loans, be happy, and have a successful career. Thank you, Nithya.
Fantastic. So Nithya, I'm sure you have got your answer. The next question we have is pretty interesting, and it's for every one of you. So just have a close look at it. Sir, the next question is from Aniket, and he's from Pune, and he's saying, what are the 3 skill sets we need to learn that can help us build a strong career, whichever path we go for? So what are the 3 important skill sets which we have to choose?
Okay, the first one is continuous learning. Okay, what is the meaning of continuous? Even if you're choosing a career, and let's say you become a business, you should always keep yourself professionally upgraded. Okay, so it's very important. A lot of people say, I will study till I get a job. After that, I will not study. Remember, studies never get over. So today we have to keep it. At this age also I'm studying, okay? So don't think that, I'm only teaching. I'm doing a formal course. I'm doing a DLET after my PhD. So why? Because I need to be upgraded. So in your career, the first thing is that continuously upgrading yourself. The second thing, very, very important thing, is actually looking at the industry scenario. What is the meaning of industry? Suppose you are into one field. A lot of things are changing, isn't it true? So you must have got into an industry in the early stages, but the industry changes. For example, if you have gone into a banking job, okay, initially people were qualified as bankers to get into a banking job. But you know the reality, today banks have become IT companies. Okay, how many of you actually go to bank? Banks are discouraging, isn't it? So you have to understand the industry also goes through changes. So you should know the industry scenario. The third and the most important skill, okay, very important skill is to actually develop financial understanding. Why did I tell so many varies? Because a lot of people only know their particular subject, but they don't know how the finance involved is, isn't it? For example, if you're an HR professional, and there are courses called finance for non-finance professionals. An HR guy should also know what is budgeting. A sales guy should know what is a budgeting. You know, an IT guy should also know what is budgeting, expenses, income. So, you should have development of something called as a financial acumen. If you don't have an understanding of finance, I know of a person, I can tell you, he was actually getting 8 lakh rupees salary per month. Okay. And he lost his job for whatever reason. I was saying, after 3 years of not finding a job, after getting 8 lakh rupees per month, okay, he doesn't know how to fund his own children's education. Why? Because even though you are earning 8 lakhs, doesn't mean you know how to manage money. Okay, now this is a very, very important lesson. It is not what you earned, but actually how did you invest or saved your money. So a lot of people miss out that they think they're earning, but they don't know the inflation. They don't know what is the cost. They don't know what is the management of finance. So remember, the third most important thing is to develop understanding of finance at the personal level and also at the investment level. Then you will be successful wherever you go. Thank you.
Superb. That's a mind-blowing answer, sir. Thanks a lot because I think this is the answer which probably everyone needs at this point of time. So irrespective of at what stage you are in. So if these 3 skills, if is something which you don't have, make sure that you acquire them first and then go for upskilling and reskilling yourself. Sir, in the chat box, I have a very great question and I'm sure you will love it personally. So we have Mr. Vijay who is asking, how to choose a good teacher. So he believes that the teacher arrives when the student is ready. But do we have to wait, and how do we know whether we are ready, or if we are in search of a good teacher, how to go about it?
Yeah.
So, no better person can answer. You are the better person to answer this.
So please understand that different type of teachers and they teach different subjects. Okay. So first of all, you should be clear what is that you want to learn from the teacher. So suppose you want to learn tabla. Okay. So there are a lot of good tabla teachers. Okay. So what is important? You have to be very clear. What do you want to learn? Okay. And then inquire in that field. Okay. Who already were good students or those who found good gurus. So let me give you a simple example. I want to learn flute. First of all, I have to be clear. Okay. So if I go to another person who doesn't know how to play the flute, what is the point? I am very clear that I want to play the flute. So I have to become the student of a great flute teacher, right? So what do? I go and check with those people who are already playing flute. Acha, you play the flute? Yeah, you play very well. I've seen you doing, lot of, sessions on flute. Very nice, very nice. Who is your guru? And he will tell you, there are 3 gurus available. One is very extraordinary. One is mediocre. One is okay. And one is useless. So all of them are flute teachers. You don't know what is the quality of flute. So this person will tell you, that guy is the best. Go to him. So instead of experimenting yourself, ask those people who are successful in that field. Then you know. So for example, you have to do business, right? So go to a successful businessman. Don't go to a failed businessman. Then he'll say, I will teach you how to do business. What will you teach me? You will make me a failure. Okay? So you should know what is that field. Go to the successful person. Ask him, kahan se seekha re dhanda karne ko? Ye mere guruji hai. Okay, jao unko pakdo. So this is the process. Yes, when the student is ready, the teacher will arrive. But this is the process. Find out a good student who is successful. Ask him who is your teacher. Go to him. Thank you.
Great, sir. So a lot of time people have sent me questions which are with respect to COVID, and this is the question which I have, personally liked a lot, and I think they need our guidance. So people who have passed out this year, right, maybe in engineering or graduation or MBA, and a lot of my students as well, and I really feel a little sad for them because they are in this kind of a zone where they feel that they are being termed or tagged as COVID graduates and COVID MBAs and COVID engineers because university has probably decided not to go for the examination, so there are challenges in conducting examination. तो इनका सवाल सर ये है कि what is the value that we have today in the market when we are stamped with this COVID graduate, COVID MBA, COVID doctors as a name, and how do we and when we are going through this emotional ups and downs due to this kind of tagging, how do we answer this or how do we tackle this? So if you can throw some light, sir.
Sure. I'm a COVID businessman. So my business has got a complete turnaround for COVID. Okay. So if you are a COVID graduate or a COVID doctor, there are children still being born. In fact, one of my friends became a father second time. He's in America. Okay. So we got some pedas and all those things. So like, acha, COVID baby. Okay. So remember one thing, when you look at this after 20, 25 years, you will laugh at it. Okay. And say, acha, COVID ke time, you will have a story to write and tell your children and grandchildren. Okay. But when you're in the problem, you don't know a solution for it. So I'll tell you what to do in this particular stage. First things, take it positively. There's nothing wrong. So when I'm saying positively, people say, मेरे को job कभी नहीं मिलेगा. So please understand that paristhiti is the same for everyone. Even from the best education institutions and ordinary. No MBA is getting a job anywhere in the world. I know there is a girl who got in touch with me. She's in New York. Either New York. She's a graduate and she's not getting a job. I know students who actually got an offer letter in December. Offer letter. And they say you join in March or April after the exams. They said, sorry, we can't take you. So it is not your problem. It is everybody's problem. Now the good news is that if it is everybody's problem, don't cry over it. Enjoy it. So this is one thing which is called positive attitude. Second, do practically. And I'm going to tell you what I told the Manipal students. Ready for it? Practical solution. So there are a lot of students in Manipal University. So they actually got an offer letter of the jobs and much before the COVID started. And afterwards, those companies told them, sorry, we can't take you. Why? No, we are laying off people. We can't take you. We can't take you. Then I told them, see, there is two things. Having a job and having a salary. Huh? What is the difference? Major difference. Please note, okay? Let's say in March, you are supposed to get a job with a salary because every job comes with a salary and they actually give you a letter and saying that please join in the month of April or whatever, And now the situation, COVID, we are not going to take you. I told them one thing practical. So that please call up that HR guy and tell him, sir, you only offered me the job, right? But I'm telling you a counter offer. You're telling me not to join. I want a counter. What counter offer? I want to work with you without salary for the next 3 months. Okay. Very, very practical solution. Okay. I want to work with you without salary for the next 3 months. If you want, I can work with you for 6 months. And what is the counter offer? After 6 months, suppose the job scenario is still bad. It's okay, but please give me a working certificate of experience. After 6 months, if the scenario increases, will you pay me the salary afterwards? You know what those people said? Brilliant. Here is a person who is not asking for salary because finally it's a financial problem for everyone, but is ready to work. And you would be surprised. 222 students got back their jobs with lesser salaries. We said, I don't want salary. So suppose you have got a 6 lakh ka package. They said, good attitude. Okay. So we are giving you a job, but we can't take it. Okay. But I will give you a nominal amount of 10,000 rupees. But you know what is the good news? After 6 months, even if you're not able to get anything, okay, at least you have a certificate and you can go to somebody else. Because it's a very bad scenario for jobs. Other thing is that even if you're not doing anything, at least upgrade yourself. Look at for industries which are going to hire people. The digital world, a lot of things. A lot of people are now looking at even, I know of a person who's actually a person in the banking industry, okay? But he's actually doing a social media course and the banks are saying, very good, come on board because we have requirement for social media people. Huh? Banks and social media people, yes. So look at industries, scenarios where you can get placed. So don't worry for the next 6 months or 1 year, even if you're having a working experience, that matters. And don't worry if you're not able to get salaries at this level, but if you have experience, salaries will come. That is being practical. Be positive, be practical, and most important, be spiritual. Have faith in God. Okay, the COVID problem will be over, but you have to be strong and you should be smiling in this situation. Don't get tense too much, थोड़ा जिंदगी में हंसने को सीखो यार. जिंदा है ना. हम लोग इतना टेंशन लेते कोविड 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 कोविड. अरे बाबा 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 कोरोना कोरोना अरे कुछ तो करो ना. Something positively you do. So that's why develop a sense of humor. Okay, it's the best time you can learn, unlearn, and smile at yourself. And believe me, everything will be normal very soon. So if you're a COVID graduate, you have a lot of stories to tell your grandchildren. If you're a COVID doctor, you will tell them how you solve the patient. Don't worry, together we'll be successful. That should be the formula.
Superb, superb. Thank you. So one word actually grabbed my attention completely was spirituality and leadership. We have the next question lined up on the similar lines. We have Pawan Singh from Bengaluru, and he is asking, sir, I was highly ambitious in my career. My mentor asked me to meditate and become more spiritual. That will help you to grow. Now my ambitions are lowered, and I do not find meaning in materialistic things. So have I got the wrong advice, or have I interpreted it wrongly? How can you help me out in this? Oh, that's a fantastic question, Pawan. So I think Dr. Pillay will be answering it perfectly.
See, I also meditate every day. Okay, but meditation doesn't mean you should become lazy with your ambitions. Okay, so a lot of people say meditation करने बेटा तो साधु बन गया, उसको जिंदगी में कुछ नहीं चाहिए. He's become, a sadhu. He's not expecting anything. Sorry, meditation should make you more powerful and energetic. Okay, so when I am doing all these 5 to 6 sessions per day, I'm running businesses, I'm paying salaries, I'm writing books. Meditation is my daily medicine. Okay, remember one thing: meditation is a daily medicine at the mental level, to calm yourself, at the spiritual level, to have faith in God. But what is happening is that it is actually becoming a problem for you. So don't make meditation a problem. It is a solution for all problems. So somebody said very nicely when I'm praying to God, so he said, don't tell God, okay, don't tell God how big the problem is. Tell the problem how big God is. Okay, so it's very, very important to understand that meditation should make you more productive. So if you're losing something in your life and say, "Mujhe kuch nahi ichha ho raha hai," that is exactly what has happened to Arjuna in the battlefield, isn't it? He was a very ambitious person. He wanted to go and kill the Kauravas and become emerging as a winner. And he said, "Mujhe nahi chahiye, main sannyas lunga." Krishna says, "Bakwas mat kar, better. What are you doing?" "I want to meditate. I want to go sannyas." You should first fight the arrow. Take the arrow and fight the enemy. Kill them. And then you should become successful. So if your ambition, good. Keep your ambition growing. Meditation should be giving you more energy to achieve your ambition, not make you come back and lose your willpower. I don't know whether your mentor is wrong or you are wrong, but definitely the understanding of meditation is wrong. Okay, so please thank your guru and take the meditation positively and meditate to achieve the purpose of your life. Don't become the negative part of misunderstanding meditation. All the best. You will do well.
That's brilliant, sir. That's brilliant. You've changed the definition of meditation for people and for me as well. Because whenever I also meditate, my people around me wonder that isko bhi achanak se kya ho jata hai. But then, I now, and with the beyond, I think they get more confused with that. All right. So I have a next question, which is a little technical, but a lot of you have this. So the next question is coming from Sachin, who is in Kurukshetra right now. He's asking, is boredom a sign of career change? How should I analyze whether it is the right time to switch the career or not? I mean, how should I understand whether it is the right time or it's the right moment for me to think about something different? It's boredom is only the one sign, or what are probably the 3 to 4 signs which can help people understand that? Over to you, doctor.
Yeah, I think you're right. Boredom is a sign where, you have got into routine activity. Okay. So if in a career you don't find a joy and saying, "Ye kya kar raha hu?" Boredom is setting, What are the reasons why people feel, not very happy with their career? Boredom is just one of them. the another 2-3 points I'll tell you. If you don't find joy in going to office every day, you may not be feeling bored, but you don't feel like getting up in the morning and going to an office. Like, I don't want to do. So that's another indicator that you don't feel like going to office. Some of them go, but they only go for salaries. So that's an indication that somewhere you're not happy with the career. Third is very clear, the finances that you get. Okay. So if you're not getting paid enough for what your quality of work is, then you also feel, not right. The fourth important thing, okay, and a very, very important thing, especially for girls, I would say that if your boss, okay, has not been treating you well, okay, we have got extreme cases of sexual harassment at workplace and all those things. I'm not even talking about that. When you start feeling that, my boss is not able to understand me properly, that's also an indication. So when is the right time to change your career? I can tell you very clearly, don't leave a career out of frustration. Don't leave a job out of frustration. Leave the job successfully before you take up the other job. Right now, half an hour before we started our session, there was a student of mine, he was saying, sir, I got a job offer and I'm getting, 40% increment. And I said, wait, 40% increment is fine. But I want to ask you this one question. And I'm very clear on this. Okay? When are you going to actually officially resign? Saying that, sir, it says 3 months. Remember one thing, 3 months you have to complete properly before you take up the other job. That means you have to be responsible before changing jobs. So if you're bored, don't change the job because that can be impulsive. And if you get into good projects, okay, for example, some people get bored because routine, but Sunday suddenly a boss comes, hey, I'm going to transfer you to Chandigarh, go and do a project there. Suddenly you get inspiration, because you're eating the same dal roti and somebody says, let's have a dessert today. So boredom sets in because people don't enjoy it beyond a point of time. So sometimes change management is also good to actually shift job. And remember one thing, you should always be successful in the place that you are before going to a new place to become successful. I've changed so many jobs, but not a single place I was kicked out of my job. Neither did my boss say you've done a bad job. And always given them commitments, fulfilled and gone to the next job. And of course, financially, if you're getting more than the previous one, you should seriously consider shifting because you have to make money in your career also. Right time is when you feel I've been responsible and I need to take up bigger responsibilities. That is when you change your career. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. That was really amazing. And I think I'm going to just take last 2 questions now. So we will take another 5-7 minutes to conclude this session. But here is one interesting question from one of my favorite students of the 5,000 students we have trained. About 2,000 are still in touch, and we have a very good, very ambitious, and a stand-up comedy and plus an MBA finance. We have Divyang with us, and Divyang has asked the question that jack of all or jack of all, master of none, and the reverse of that. So it is always a contradictory situation when you take a job. Sometimes you are expected to be just master of one to succeed, and sometimes you are expected to be jack of 10 to succeed. If there is a personality conflict which is happening, how do we go about it? Is it advisable to change the our own personality, or how to tackle this situation?
So it's a very nice question. In fact, a lot of people also wonder about it. So the way I think is that, either you can be a specialist or a generalist. Okay, specialist, one subject area, go deeper. But then you become very narrowed down to one area. And the danger is that that area changes, you are irrelevant. For example, you're a software engineer, isn't it true? And coding, decoding, you go on and on. But you can find a better software engineer and then you are replaced. Correct? So it's a danger when you become a specialist. That's one way of looking at it. The second is generalist. I know everything, so I can fit in anywhere. And it also depends on your personality types. The best combination is not about being a generalist or a specialist, but accept both. So be a specialist in something and be a generalist in that thing. Let me give an example. Chanakya. People know me as a specialist in Chanakya. Correct? So that's a specialization. I could have done a lot of things, but I came down to Chanakya. But you know what? Even though I'm a specialist in Chanakya, I'm a generalist in Chanakya. So I can speak to businessmen. I can speak to army officers. I can speak to teachers. I can speak to students. I can speak to parents. Everywhere I'm talking about Chanakya. Isn't it true? But I know how to present it generally also. So today I'm speaking to students and people who are in career. Isn't it true? But if you go into the technicalities of Chanakya, what is Anvikshiki, Sankhya, Yoga, Mandala theory, Saptanga model, tak, 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 tak. So in technicalities, I am a king, and adapting that specialization of technicality into generalization also I am a king. So remember one thing, you should be a combination of specialization and generalization. That's where your success lies. Thank you.
Superb, superb. So that was amazing. And Divyang, I'm sure you have got the answer. A lot of you must be having this question about exactly करना क्या है. तुम्हें लगता है कि तुम एक चीज में अच्छे हो, लेकिन सामने वाले को 10 चाहिए, या उल्टा होता है, तब उस टाइम पे क्या करना है. So last 2 questions with your permission, please.
No, sure. We can go to the last three also.
Okay, that's wonderful. So we have Sonu Rane with me right now on chat. Sonu, please be attentive. And sir is going to answer your question. So his question is, I was an employer at one point of time with, he had his own coaching classes, and then somehow it got failed. The venture didn't pick up properly. And then he started teaching into various institutions just as probably a visiting faculty or a faculty. So, but he has this urge of entrepreneurship and he wants to start the business again, but he wants to understand, how do I come out of this failure? Guys, it's the question is very important for you in different contexts. Is mainly about coming out of the failure, whether it's your studies or whether it's an entrepreneurship. Yes, sir, your perspective on this, please.
So first of all, don't have the guilt of failure. Okay. So what happens, people, when they fail in something, they feel very guilty and they lose their self-confidence. Never ever do that. Now, coming back specifically, you said about coaching classes. Now let me tell you, it is not your problem. It is everybody's problem in the coaching classes industry. Remember one thing, there was a generation when everybody wanted to go into coaching classes, but the industry itself has changed because now technology has come in. I know of so many people who are great in teaching in coaching classes, but today, you know what? It's all been replaced by Byju's app. Okay, people don't want physical classes. They are all going to digital classes. Isn't it true? So you must have tried a model, what we call as sunset industry and sunrise industry. You know what is a sunrise industry? Something which is coming up, something which is new, like a sun rising. Okay, and there is something called as peak, and then there is a sunset industry. If you try something after the peak, then it's slowly going to go down. You should always look at industries which are new, okay, which is going to come up. So you get the full life cycle at the starting. From 0 to 12 o'clock, it's the rise. But 12 o'clock to 6 o'clock, it's a sunset. So you actually entered the coaching classes industry at 3 o'clock in the evening. So what had happened is that you thought, coaching class, everybody's going to coaching classes. But what happened is you tried it, nothing wrong. But the industry was sunset. So what was happening? The smart guys said, we should go digital. For example, Mahesh Tutorials. If you remember that, it was one of the most popular coaching classes. But they realized we need to go digital. They went to digital, and today they actually sold it to Z Films. If you know this particular story, so it is a lot of coaching classes have gone through this. So number one, don't feel guilty. But at least they say, no, you tried. Okay, so it's very important. You tried. So I'd like to congratulate you. It is better to try rather than not trying at all. You tried and it changed. It's okay. Now what do? The entrepreneur you should try something new. But this time when you try it, okay, take a calculated risk. Keep a mentor with you. And one step at a time. Don't get excited. Last time I'm sure you must have, some friends must have told you, chalo, karte hain. But you didn't know the industry is changing. But this time with maturity. एक बार अगर फेल हुआ ठीक है, 2 बार ठीक है, लेकिन तीसरी बार सक्सेसफुल होना, that is the strategy. So don't let failure affect you. Take it as a learning. Look out for sunrise industries, but don't go for sunset industries. Then you'll be successful again. Congratulations and all the best.
That's brilliant, sir. So ride the riding wave. That was a brilliant insight. Get into a sunrise industry, not a sunset industry. And it's time to change, time to accept different things and move on. Sir, sir, if you want, you can take just a minute break. Let me talk to students. Okay. So right. 5-10 students have probably left, assuming that their questions won't be answered now by Dr. Pillay, because now we have only 2 questions pending. But let me tell you guys, we are coming up with a career coaching program in this COVID, because there are tons of students and they require a guidance. Okay? So me and Vishal, we have trained more than 5,000 students. We have coached more than 5,000 students till now. maybe a 5% or a 1% experience of Dr. Pillay is in comparison, but हम ये program free में launch करने वाले हैं आपके लिए. There will be different industry experts would also be joining every Friday 9:30 to 10:30 post dinner, right? So get all your questions, whatever you have. So right now, all the leadership questions, and Dr. Pillay is a perfect person to answer this. But when you talk about small questions like engineering specialization, graduation specialization, you can join that program. So the next question, sir, is very emotional question. I really feel not so good, but maybe all the ladies in the house, please be ready, because you probably are facing this, or probably you might have the same challenge. So please be ready, sir. Here is the question. So we have Pooja from Gurgaon who is asking this question. I am an ambitious lady, had a successful corporate life of 8 years, was enjoying a 6-figure salary. I took a break for 2 years for family planning and kids. Now I'm struggling to get those ambitions back, that mindset back of an ambitious lady. And I'm not able to probably perform any task properly at this point of time, because I'm not able to devote the time completely, my mind completely towards the work, neither towards the family. So what is wrong with the ambitions which I had as the dream got shattered? Can you please tell me what steps I can take to come back and bounce back in my life?
Yeah, I think this is a very normal scenarios for a lot of Indian ladies. Okay, it is called the professional motherhood guilt. So what is the meaning of professional motherhood guilt? You were very ambitious professionally. You became a mother, as you told me, you took a break for career planning, and now you're feeling guilty. Okay, I don't know what to do. Neither idhar ke na udhar ke. So the person in you was very ambitious. You got married, you had a child or whatever, and suddenly when you're at home, your mind is in the office, and you may be feeling, you know, what to do. And a lot of ladies go through this. Okay, but let me tell you the third word, and that is called motherhood should be a joy. It should not be a guilt. I'll tell you how to overcome it. Okay. First of all, don't compare the puja of the past to the puja of the present or puja of the future. You know, when you start your career, you have a lot of ambitions. But remember one thing, those ambitions may not be matured ambitions. You know what is the meaning of matured ambitions? You change with time. Do you know what is the one thing that you have achieved in this? You become a mother. Imagine you are very successful and still you did not become a mother. I have seen a lot of people, a lot of ladies, they actually take a career break to become a mother. Because sometimes the corporate world can give you success, money. But I'll tell you at the end of it, if you want to be a mother, you have to devote some time. Yesterday I was listening to Indira Nui, one of the most successful, ambitious women. And she actually was chairman of PepsiCo internationally with offices in 180 countries. But she always said, you know, it is because of the support of my family that I became successful. So what is very important is that don't feel guilty. 1 or 2 years break is okay. You can always go back to your career. My wife is an MBA in finance, drawing the same salary, but she came back, focused on her motherhood as a choice. Now she's going back to the career. By that time, you can be more mature and draw more salary. So what are the 2-3 things you should do? Number one, discuss with your family, your spouse, your mother-in-laws. Okay, it's very, very important that you discuss with them, because if you want to go back to your career, you'll still be a mother. Okay, please understand that, you know, now it is not the previous, you know, I was a full-time working, you will work, but you'll also be a mother. So where is the support system in your house? So it's very, very important to discuss with your family. Second, take it slow. Okay, and let me tell you, you'll be surprised to know this. People at the senior management level don't want ambitious people. Along with that, they want matured people. Okay, when senior positions, the quality of a motherhood matters. Because imagine you are, 25, 26 years old and very ambitious. It's all about competition and jealousy with your colleagues, isn't it? But as you grow higher into leadership role, you require empathy. A mother actually has got natural empathy. So with the motherhood, when you come back to your career, whatever it is, you can manage different teams, because you can see your little child messing around with a lot of employees. But when you become mature, you actually get more salaries. You will get more teamwork. So I think the motherhood actually should teach you how to become a better professional. That's why you can develop qualities like EQ, emotional quotient, spiritual quotient. So Indira Nooyi's greatest contribution to PepsiCo is not being ambitious. It's actually being empathetic. She made the whole Pepsi organization a very caring organization. So remember, you can go back with care, and such people will become part of the senior management where more salary will come. But remember, you need to go through this stage where your professional working and your motherhood has to be balanced. So your solution is to have your family and support system with you. Only then you will be free from the guilt. Because if you have guilt, neither you will be successful professionally, neither you will be successful as a mother. Discuss with your family, come out of your guilt, and be successful professionally and be a great mother. All the best.
Super. So sir, last two questions. I'm sorry, मैंने पहले भी बोला था दो क्वेश्चन, लेकिन ये तो बहुत ही इंटरेस्टिंग सवाल है. And guys, for all the people जिन्होंने who have heard about Dr. Pillay talking about entrepreneurship, about Chanakya's view on entrepreneurship, I am coming up with the second last question आएगा. उसके बाद last question is completely on entrepreneurship and Chanakya. So stay tuned with us and please keep your notepad ready. Before that, I have one important question. सर, ये दुनिया सिर्फ ड्रीमर्स की है और एम्बिशियस लोगों की है, ऐसा लोग बोलते हैं, ठीक है, ये बंदे का कहना है. Now we have Anirban Sahu from Odisha all the way, and he is saying, listen to me carefully, guys. A lot of you will probably who do not have a straight question today will relate to this, ठीक है. तो ये भाई बोलता है that I want to do something big in life, sir, but I don't have any goals, I don't have skills, I don't have confidence, and I genuinely feel very, very, very useless. I want to do something big in life, but I don't have a confidence, I don't have goal, I don't have skill, I feel very useless. I want to be useful for someone. How do I go about it? How do I bring back my confidence? Or how do I ensure that I can do something before I say bye-bye to this world? So exactly the question, Anirban, I have repeated the way you have said. And sir, over to you if you can guide. We have spoken a lot on people who have dreams and confused. Now let's talk about people who probably have very small dreams, but do not have any single part to take the first step. Over to you, sir.
I think what is your problem is not ambition. Your problem is not about confusion. It is about lack of purpose in life. So remember one thing, if you have a purpose in life, you will not have these questions. Okay. So we get confused by saying that I'm useless, I'm worthless, all those things. It's lack of confidence coming from knowing I don't know what to do in life. And let me tell you, 9 out of 10 people, okay? 9 out of 10 people have this problem. Do you think I was very, very successful? No, I also had this confusion. If you ask my parents, they will tell you, Pata nahi hai ladka zindagi mein kya karega. Till one day, by the grace of God, I actually found my purpose in life. And that is dedicate my whole thing to Chanakya. And that moment doesn't come immediately. Sometimes you have to wait, have patience. There was a great man, okay? Great man. And unfortunately, he also had the same problem. He was a lawyer, okay? But a very unsuccessful lawyer. Very unsuccessful lawyer. And somebody told him, come to South Africa, okay? And you fight a case for me, okay? He was not a successful lawyer. I can even go to the extent, what my father says. He was a very ordinary lawyer. He was a barrister. He went to South Africa. He had no ambitions, nothing, low on self-confidence. He could not even speak. He had not won a single case. Kitna unsuccessful lawyer hoga? Shadi shuda 3 bacche. One day he was traveling in a train. And you know what happened? The TC said, you can't sit here, just get out of. He was pushed away from the train. And when he was pushed away, he got a purpose in life. No, I will fight for the rights of those people. And that person's name was Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. And after that incident, he became Mahatma Gandhi. My dear friends, the same person who was considered as a failure, who had no confidence in himself, suddenly became the leader among people. So what is very important is that don't cry about what you have not done. Worry about what you can do. So go to some slum area, go to some of the underprivileged people, start teaching them, contribute something. You don't require money to become a social worker. You require an attitude to contribute to the society. So if you're not feeling inspired, you have to go back. And then you said something very nice. Before I end my life, please don't even think about committing suicide. Huh? Don't feel being worthless. I've written I have actually an audiobook in Audible, and it is called Chanakya for Youth. Prathamesh, I will send you that. Please circulate that to everyone. Sure. It's how to find the purpose in your life using Chanakya. And believe me, the day you find your purpose in your life, you will be an inspiration for others. Today, what you're lacking is inspiration for yourself. But the day you find your inspiration, you will become a legend. People will remember you after you're physically gone. Okay. Nobody has seen Mahatma Gandhi over here, isn't it true? But still, we see him every day on the currency note. Okay. That's the inspiration that you should have. So don't worry. Apna time aega. Remember, so if you're worried and you have tense, ki kya ho raha hai zindagi mein, have patience. Keep working for the less privilege. Okay. Work for the society. Suddenly you will become a leader. Somebody who's totally useless is what you think, but you can be the most powerful leader the society has ever seen. All the best. I will send you my book, Chanakya for the Youth.
All right. So guys, here you go. Before I throw the last question, there are a lot of people, sir. I'm so amazed that there are a lot of people who are asking for a feedback link because they want to write some brilliant feedback for you. So guys, here I go. I am posting you a feedback link. What you need to do is we have created something on LinkedIn, Facebook, as well as Instagram. So go ahead and straight post your comment and your feedback in the comment box and tag us so that we can listen to you about whatever you wanted to say. Now, one more thing. There are a lot of questions which are there, which we probably cannot answer now. You have to understand, guys, it's very inhuman. We had 320 participants. It's very difficult to answer so many questions, right? But we have questions with us, and let me promise you, let me figure out some kind of mechanism to get back to you with the answers. So don't worry about it, all right? And sir, before I go to the last question, let me just wanted to talk to an audience for 30 seconds. Guys, a lot of you are energetic about this word called entrepreneurship. So let me tell you, we are coming up with a short course on entrepreneurship. I'm not going to give any details as of now, but there will be 10 sessions happening on entrepreneurship specifically, right? How to generate the ideas, how to understand the finance, so on and so forth. I would request Dr. Pillay, if he can find some time during that time, he can also come and take a couple of sessions for you, but he's very busy and I cannot commit you anything as of now. But entrepreneurship is the next thing, and it is the most important thing which everyone can look forward to. And the last question is on entrepreneurship. Here I go. So, sir, Senthil from Chennai and many other people, I cannot take name of everyone, want to understand employment versus entrepreneurship. What did Chanakya preferred and why? So, what is Chanakya's take on this?
Instead of employership and entrepreneurship, Chanakya talked about leadership. That's the difference, So when you say employee, that's one mindset. Employer is one mindset. Whatever it is, become a leader. You can be an employee and still be a leader. Okay, so nothing wrong in that. For example, if you look at the biggest companies, Microsoft and Google, the CEOs, the leaders are actually employees. Isn't it true? So if you look at Sundar Pichai, all those people are leaders. They're still employees. So it's a misconception that you have to become an entrepreneur to think like a leader. Of course, entrepreneurship has to think about leaders. Entrepreneurs have to think like a leader. But being an employee also, you can think about leadership. So wherever you are, whatever role you do, think like a leader. For example, if you're a principal of a college, just give an example, okay? The principal of the college is an employee, but he or she is also a leader, isn't it? So instead of thinking like an employer versus employee, if you have a choice, you should become an entrepreneur, okay? But instead of thinking like an employer or an employee, be a leader wherever you go. That is what Chanakya wants you to be, a successful and inspirational leader.
That's brilliant. That's genuinely brilliant, sir. And it's not about employership or it's not about entrepreneurship. It's all about leadership. Let me tell you guys, whoever has missed this, Dr. Chanakya Pillay is currently a director with an institution inside Mumbai University called Chanakya Institute of Leadership Management. So people like me who have this कीड़ा of leadership, जिनको leadership सीखनी है, जिनको आगे जाके leader बनना है या उनके principles सीखने हैं, only CEOs and only VP CEOs, managers, this kind of crowd you will see in this this particular course. I have got one lecture to teach them and I was amazed to see their level. So you can follow Dr. Chanakya's page on Facebook and Instagram, and I ensure you also go and check out his profile. If you want any more information about MA in Leadership Science, which is headed by Dr. Pillay, you can ask them, or if you need any help, I can also help you out with whatever information is required. So, sir, if they come back to me with, if they are looking forward for something like this, I will redirect it to you. And the Audible link, which sir have said is going to share about how to find the purpose in life. I think this is the most important part, and I'm so glad that he's going to share with us. I'm going to share that with you very soon once I get that particular thing. So stay tuned. Follow us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, follow Dr. Pillay's page, and there are a lot of learnings which he keep posting on Twitter, Instagram and Facebook. One thing which I have learned from him without he being aware of it is this. एक बार चंद्रगुप्त मौर्य ने अपने गुरु से पूछा चाणक्य से, सर, how to become a leader? Trust me guys, look at the answer. Now this is the real wisdom which we are talking about. How to become a leader. How many of you want to become a leader in life? Just quickly type L in the chat window. Fatafat. We have 3 minutes. Quickly type. How many of you want to genuinely become a leader? Just put it for everyone. Let the people watch. Let me see some of the name of the upcoming leaders in coming 5 years time. Brilliant Harsh, brilliant Srinivasan, brilliant Shubham. Yes, so I think the message has gone perfectly. So if you want to become a leader, you will have this question because I had this question. The question was how to become a leader, and the real wisdomful answer was this. Chanakya said to Chandragupta Maurya, you keep working for people, you keep working for people, you keep working for people, and one day they will make you leader. So guys, that was the answer which changed my perspective even after reading and learning about leadership for 10 years. That changed my perspective because I realized कि मैं अपने आप को लीडर नहीं बोल सकता, मैं अपने आप को लीडर नहीं बना सकता, मुझे दूसरों के लिए कुछ करना पड़ेगा. वो एक दिन मुझे ये पदवी देंगे कि शायद मैं पोजीशन में हूँ that I can talk that probably today I am a leader. So this is what guys, this is the kind of wisdom which we have in the mentorship sessions which we have, or when we are having a discussion with Pillay sir. If you want to have him as a coach, you can freely connect with him and talk to his teammates. If you want any guidance in business, in entrepreneurship, especially entrepreneurship, because he's a business coach to many CEOs of SMEs and MSMEs. So if you or your parents are struggling at this point of time with the business, he's the right person to get in touch with. Right? You can get in touch with me. I can take you there, or you can directly get in touch with Dr. Pillay. Sir, any closing statement for Magic Institute of Excellence?
Become students of Chanakya, and one day I want all of you to be teachers of Chanakya and leadership. That is my dream. Okay, one closing statement, which is my favorite. Okay, never fight a battle alone. Take some friends along. Okay, so life is full of battles, challenges, but agar do dost saath mein hai, char dost saath mein hai, so the same journey which you find a challenge becomes very enjoyable. So life is about living the fullest. Have smiles on your face, okay? Don't take too much tension in life. Develop the humor quotient. जिंदगी में हंसना सीखिए और हंसाना सीखिए, और सबसे ज्यादा खुद पे हंसना सीखिए. We get so much tense. Corona. Corona में कुछ तो corona. What is that? Hustle. Keep smiling. That is the real way to succeed in life. Don't be a tension to others. Okay? Be tension free and keep smiling. That is my final message.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot for finding time. Thanks a lot for rectifying whatever technical glitch was, because I was very panicked at the last moment when he said that I will take another 5 minutes. So people were here. Jagabi session chalu hoga. We wanted to hear Dr. Pillay, but I'm sure that you guys are amazed. How many of you believe that it was a fun plus learning? Press F and L in the chat window quickly. So with his style of leadership, with his style of the way he speaks, it's more humor and still drives the point. That's a unique style. I'm trying to learn from him. Sir, mujhe bhi sikhaiye, please, because I get too serious when I'm talking. So that's fantastic. We have a lot of comments. And okay, guys, so don't forget to go on the links, Facebook, Insta, and LinkedIn, whichever platform you're active about. Please put all your feelings. How did you feel it in the session? How did you like the questions which they were answered? Of course, goes without saying that we have tried to answer every single question which is there. But अभी तक 200 question मेरे पास pending है जो पूछने हैं, मैं देखता हूँ मैं क्या कर सकता हूँ. All right, guys. Thanks a lot, sir. Thank you for coming down and giving some light to my students on what all things, how they can take a shift, or how they can take what kind of mindset they need to have in this particular scenario. It was a great learning for me as well. Even though I was host, I have taken a lot of notes here, and that's what I have learned from him. So thank you, sir. Thanks a lot. And I wish we could connect again and again and again on the platform, and my students will get a lot of guidance from you. So thank you.
You've been a fantastic host. You are an inspiration yourself. Loved this session. Thank you,
sir. Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot. All right, guys. So I hope you have enjoyed the session. It was indeed amazing. What hope! I'm sure you have enjoyed the session. So go ahead, go there, flood the inboxes with all the kind of comments. We would like to hear them. Tag me, tag Dr. Pillay, tag Vishal Bhojani. My partner is there, but then he's gone for some session. And see you very soon. Thank you, sir. Once again.
Thank you.